at lovedreamingpeach.com.
I wanted to do one more recap on the Sarah Boone trial.
There might be typos in the auto-generated
Justice
captions.
for George
Oh,
Torres.
well, it's late, but I like captions.
So, what I'm actually really hoping is that the jury will see enough of what the public who are not jurors have access to. So when you're a juror, they vet you. They ask you questions beforehand. You're not supposed to be predisposed to a guilty verdict. You're not supposed to have known a bunch of shit about the case beforehand. Like I was saying, I'm biased because I've been listening to Peter Tragos read her insane, utterly, absolutely narcissistic personality disordered letters. Today, the prosecution was asking that psychologist, about the DSM-5 and, narcissistic personality disorder, and it was listing off, some of the criteria. And there was at least 4 of them where he just quickly said, no, no, no. And I was like, no, wait, that was a yes, 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 yes. So he came away with, she's only got 3 out of what you would need to be 5 in order to have this actual diagnosis. And what I counted up was like, that was more like 8. But, if you're as interested in it, you can go back and look at it. I do these kind of videos because when I get interested in a case and then I'm watching the case gavel to gavel or close to it, I will watch Emily D. Baker. I will watch Peter Tragos. I will get their different opinions. They're both lawyers, but with different opinions. I'll listen to non-lawyers like Corgi-san and Paul from, on YouTube, his channel is Reporting Live from My Sofa. And they have their, regular person perspective. So I don't watch sports at all, and I found that watching trials that interest me is a type of sports in a way. It has its same routine kind of things. You get used to the way that it operates. But it's a long, slow game. Sarah Boone was arrested in February of 2020. It's now October of 2024. Dan Markel, for example, he was murdered in 2014. It's 2024. And we're still waiting for Wendy Adelson to get arrested. Maybe Harvey. To be honest, I don't care as much about Harvey. He's 80-some years old. His wife has gone to jail. His son has gone to jail. The other son don't speak to him. His daughter probably don't speak to him. I want Wendy to go to jail. Wendy needs to go to jail. But anyway, I digress. Okay, I get interested in specific cases, and then I really want to see justice. I want to know that people can't just walk around getting away with murder because it was inconvenient or whatever, for whatever reason, money. Or, was it a crime of passion in Sarah's case? I genuinely don't believe that she had battered syndrome. She was far too much of an aggressor. And like I already said, her own testimony, she said every single thing she said. I decided that we were going to do chores. I decided that we were going to drink the wine that was left over. I decided that we were going to do the puzzle that I purchased. I decided that George needed a change of scenery. I decided that we were going to sit out on the porch and smoke cigarettes and drink wine. I decided that I was done drinking wine and I wanted to go inside. I decided it was time to go inside. George put the music on, but that made me fractious. So his music makes me fractious. So I decided it was time to do something else. I decided it was time for us. Everything was us, 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 us. Even though she also said too much togetherness causes issues. It sounds like from the crack of dawn till the end of the crack of night, while she was killing him, They were together with every single thing. I decided. I thought that this, so I decided. I thought George needed this. I thought George needed that. I didn't want George to do this. I didn't want George to do that. I did this to acquiesce with George. I did this to placate George. Really? Sounds like you were bossing him the fuck around. Was he your puppet? Was he a child? Was he some special needs boyfriend that you just glommed onto? Were you an absolute narcissistic lunatic who expected like utter compliance? You're like basically like an authoritarian dictator. Like, do what I tell you to do. We're going to do this now. We're going to do that now. We're going to do this now. Like, it just doesn't sound normal. And that's what I'm saying. For her to have been the victim, you can't be the perpetrator. You can't be the instigator. You can't be the one who's financially in control, the one who has control of whether or not you talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your job, the one who can decide whether you can drive somewhere or not, the one who can even kick you out of where you live because it's her townhouse. She even talked about, I didn't like it when his ex-wife was calling up asking for money for the 3 kids. No, but then in testimony it's like, oh, well, even when Sarah needed the money, she would just say, oh, no, give the money to your ex, darling. So in her police interview, she's saying, oh, I got so pissed when the ex was always calling wanting money for the fucking kids, but he has to support me and Lucas. Yeah. Her entire day, the day of the murder leading up to it, I decided. I thought that we needed this. I thought George needed this. We went here because I decided. We did this because I decided. Does that sound like somebody who's in control? Who's coercively in control? Or does that sound like somebody being controlled? She even said when he claimed, he said, tag, you're it. She knew, oh, I gotta run upstairs now. Now I know that means run off and play hide and seek. Like, are you children? But yet that, and I had the thought was like, was that his only way of getting a minute alone? Like, I'm going to make this bitch think I'm going to play hide and seek because it's the only way I can get her or the fuck away from me. Okay, so then he's like, I ain't even looking for her ass. Let her go hide in the fucking shower. Let her go. Just go hide, bitch. Okay, I don't know. I'm making it up. I'm speculating. But then she claims that when she came down, he never came to look for her. She was tired of hiding in the shower and laying in the bed or whatever the hell she was doing. So she comes down to look for him, and he's getting into the suitcase, flopping it over. She just, it's like a cartoon movie. She didn't actually see him. She didn't see his head or his fingers or anything. She just saw like perfectly, like, boop. Oh, I knew he was in there. Why is he hiding if he told you to go hide? We're just gonna both hide, and nobody's gonna look for the other person. Really? Then the so-called first date that she told, her stories were Amber Heard on crack. Well, no, Amber Heard was on crack. It was like crack on crack. She told this horrendous story of her first date with him. It's just so absurd. It's not believable. In any manner, it's not believable. And then she went on a second date after he supposedly like kept her in a fetal position on the porch for 3 hours and talked. He was gonna sodomize her and all this crazy shit, but yet she went out with him again. And then for 3 years. Okie dokie. So, anyways, those are my thoughts, and let's see. Let's hear if there's any pathetic people who are like total simps or patsies or sycophants for somebody like her. You think she's likable and believable? You feel sympathy? You think she's the victim, or do you think she's the perpetrator, the murderer, should go to jail?